Welcome to another DSM exclusive. I'm excited about this interview. We're going to meet someone who is doing some wonderful things in, I'll call it Entrepreneurville. But I'm excited to introduce you all to Kearn. So what we're going to do is I'm going to share a little bit about her, and then we're going to have a conversation about what's going on with her and what she has coming up. So Kearn is a speaker, coach, entrepreneur, author, and collaborator. She's the owner of PRN Home Care, which is 23 years old. She has vested over 30 years in the healthcare field and holds a degree in occupational therapy. She often speaks on topics like create your own event, turning connections into major collaborations, create your own door, and more. Mrs. Cherry has a popular coaching program which she teaches how to create a profitable event, whether it's in person or virtual, but no big parties. She's a co-founder and director of Success Women's Conference, which produced over 1,000 attendees, and creator of the Power Up Summit and Level Up Your Visibility and Profitability. Mrs. Cherry is the visionary author of her #1 best-selling book anthology called Trailblazers Who Lead, that consists of 29 co-authors. And she has a new book anthology called Make It Happen, in which she is currently looking for 30 authors. She's also starting her own podcast show, K Connections with Kearn Cherry, this year, so you need to definitely stay connected. Mrs. Cherry is a community activist who engages in developing community activities such as Blessed Girls Rock, and a creator of RIPE Conference, which stands for Resources, Information, and Planning for the Elderly. She sits on numerous boards such as Girl Scouts of Greater Mississippi State Board, Rebecca's House, Mental Health Association, Lighthouse Business and Professional Women, Gulf Coast Gospel Music Awards, and other organizations. She encourages women to network to increase the net worth while building relationships that can lead to major collaborations. She's been featured in numerous magazines, publications, podcasts, and radio shows, and received numerous awards and recognition. She has been featured twice in Essence magazine, one time being the Comeback Queen. She recently was recognized as one of the top 50 leading businesswomen in Mississippi and the Governor's Give Award for Outstanding Achievement and Empowerment Initiatives. She often says, when one door is closed, go to the next one. If that door is closed, go around the back. And if that door is closed, create your own, but never give up. Welcome, Kearn Crockett Cherry, another DSM exclusive. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Yes, thank you, Lisa, for having me. I'm so looking forward to talk and share with your audience. I'm always honored to be invited on a show, so thank you.
Yeah, so and I know we've talked previously, and you have a lot of things that are going on. So first of all, I wanted to actually ask, what made you get into the healthcare profession?
So I've been in healthcare, as you said, for over 30 plus years. I actually started out working at an OBGYN clinic while I was starting college. And to be honest, initially I had planned to go into engineer, even though as a kid I always said, well, I'll be a nurse, right? That's, for me, it's always like, I look back at it, that was the easy out. And so when I got pregnant with my son, which was my senior year of high school, I had to make some adjustments in my plan. And of course, going into nursing, I could, actually have an income and be able to have some time, spend time raising my son and stuff. Well, a lot of that didn't go the way in your brain, you plan
Right.
stuff and things never happen. I was in Germany for 5 years with my husband and then in Arizona. And each of those times I was not able to go to nursing school. And I always say God must have had the other plan for me. And
That's
so
right.
I actually got a degree in occupational therapy. And we actually came to Mississippi in plans to go through Mississippi. And then we are here. And now 20 something years later, we are still in Mississippi, right?
That was the real plan, right? That was the plan.
That was the real plan. I was like, yeah, we gonna go home. His parents were here, my parents here. We gonna go home, visit, and we're gonna get a job in Florida. Well, yeah, that didn't work out that way. But it was a blessing in disguise because, here we are years later. Our business has been around 23 years, PR and home care. We still do what we love, which is helping people stay in their home environment, whether it's in their actually home, assisted living. And we even have been fortunate over the years to help people that were in facilities as well, like nursing homes. So can't do that right now with COVID.
Right.
But that being said, we're still able to provide the care. And let's face it, some people are probably going to keep their parents home longer now and wait till after all of this passed, which
Exactly.
so we enjoy it. We love doing what we do, and I love healthcare because I really do get to help other people. This is why you heard the right conference resource information and planning for the elderly, which
Right.
targets the caregivers and allows us to help them, because so many caregivers, it's not something you chose to be. It's something, it basically chose you because you're
That's
providing
right.
mostly for your parents or some loved one or a neighbor, and so that being said, we wanted to, empower people to have the information.
Okay.
How many times have I gotten phone calls and people like, I'm just frustrated. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to look for the information. And so I've always been a resource person anyway when it comes to that, because
Mm-hmm.
it's more about them getting the help that they need than
Right.
them being my client. They may not be the client. I may not be the right fit for them, but I want to make sure that they get the help that they need. So I've enjoyed
Exactly.
it. Mm-hmm.
That's a handful right there. So, my next question was actually going to be, because that's a lot and it's so important. But in addition to that, because you said I want to piggyback on, you said you like helping people. So you didn't even just stay in that lane to help people. You've actually opened up this window and opened it up to entrepreneurship in other areas. So
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about, because there's quite a few conferences and some coaching and training that you
Yeah.
have going on. So how did this lead you into those areas?
Well, I guess at the end of the day, I may have some ADHD. Not ADHD, but I definitely got some AD going on,
I'm
right?
with you. I'm with you.
So I do. I love events, and I thought about it. I said, I tell people for 15 years, but actually, I started planning events when I was in Germany. That's 30 years
Okay.
ago. My the chaplain that I worked for obviously had AD as well, because he loved creating things for the community. He was a chaplain over all the chaplains, and but he wanted to do things in the community for the military people, and where you can bring the community, the local Germans and the military people together. And
Okay.
so, that being said, when you're working on a person like that and they're a lieutenant colonel, they're not definitely going to take no for an answer, right? So,
Right.
though I didn't have the skills, I was like, tell me what to do and I'll get it done. And so, even then is when I really probably realized my early enjoying putting things together, getting generals in and making sure that you're doing the protocol and all that stuff
Right.
that is required for those military people coming in. So I look back at that and I said, I guess that's really where I probably got the bug.
Uh-huh.
But that being said, I've enjoyed it because I'm a person that naturally wants to give, right?
Hmm.
My husband and I both are like that. We like to give. We don't just give our time, we give our money as well. And I've always been that way anyway. And then my
Right.
husband reminds me, I said, you probably should have never said this to me, but he told me, he said, women like gifts. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right. So I've taken that part and just taken it to a whole nother level. And I'm
Right.
like, okay, so when I do events, especially when they're in person, everybody knows I'm going to bring a lot of giveaways and things that are really nice, because when I give away, I'm like, I got a Coach bag. I got a
I
hotel
love
bag,
it. I love it.
stays and all this stuff. And so people love that. People like they like free stuff and they love gifts,
Absolutely.
right?
Yes.
And they
Yes.
love being pampered. So that being said, doing events for the last 15 plus years, I have enjoyed being able to create opportunities, not
Mm-hmm.
just to have an event, but now with success, inspiring, empowering women to take the leap, to
Mm-hmm.
find their passion and to walk in it.
Yes.
Now with COVID, I encourage people, it's just time to walk in your calling, and
Absolutely.
you're sitting on it. And it is time for you to be the testimony you are and walk in your gifts. Don't be so dependent on one job or one income. There are so many gifts you're born with in the beginning. So
That's
I love
right.
being able to do that. I love being able to create a stage for speakers. COVID has really woken up this industry and it's leveled the platform because when you think of
Yes.
you see people like Les Brown, Dr. Frazier, Forbes, Raleigh, Sharon Lecter. They're on many stages. You know why? Because they know that
Mm-hmm.
one day COVID is going to be under control.
That's
And
right.
they're going to start flying back in speakers. But guess who they're going to think about first? The speakers who stayed relevant during COVID,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
So I was just on another interview and I was telling the person, I said, look, I know some of y'all are thinking I should be paid to speak. And I get it. Hey, I feel the same way,
Right.
right? You know, but the industry and the market is changing because corporations don't have the money to spend on events and conferences and all that right now. And what
Right.
they are spending isn't what it used to be. Last year for success, $200,000 budget. Well, guess what? And I know personally, I raised over a third of it. That being said, hello, it ain't the same in 2020, right? So,
Right. Right.
that being said, you have to realize that everybody can't get paid. And
Right.
most people don't even have the budget to pay anybody, but
That's
they
true.
still want to bring the message. They still want to pour into their people. And you still need to be on as many stages as possible. I'm telling people now, the year of 2021 is the year of the speaker. You're going to decide, your actions are going to determine how relevant you are in 2022. So you need to be
Absolutely. Yes,
right.
it's the year of the open mouth. Look, if everybody is sleeping now, they're gonna sleep on you next year. I believe exactly what you said, and you do have to stay relevant. And really, it's about the message. So I think the other things will come when they hear, which sometimes people need to hear what you're talking about first before they're willing to, put some funds to something, and that's okay because like I'm not so sure I want to pay for the message. So let me hear what you're talking about first. So I love that. And you have a conference, is it called Level Up?
Yes, yes. Level up your visibility and profitability. And
Yes,
call that because if you're not visible, I guarantee you're not making the money you could be making. For all of
absolutely.
you that like to move in silence, good for you. Because I'm telling you right now, you're not making the money you should be making. The people that are out front, I guarantee you're going to see the whole difference come 2022. You must be visible. I was just talking about this earlier. Speakers are like, I don't have a digital platform. Really? If COVID hadn't done anything else, it's told us you better get a digital presence. You
That's
better get
right.
your Facebook updated, take your dog off of your profile, right? And get you a LinkedIn present. And by the way, Twitter is also a place that they're hiring and looking for people as well. So it is time that for you have sat on the sideline and said, I really don't need a digital platform. I don't enjoy being on there. It's not about that anymore. People aren't going to go back to hiring in person. We got Zoom and everything else. And
That's
guess what?
right.
If I'm Zooming, guess what I'm going to be doing? I'm going to go see what you're doing.
That's
And I'm going to see what you're doing before I interview you. And
that's true.
if you ain't doing nothing, then why I need you? I need somebody that can help me in this digital world that we are all transforming to, right?
That's right. You said wait on it. So if I can't see you now, how am I going to know when everything opens back up? I'm not going to know where you are because I haven't heard anything from you. We have actually a question. Do you have any suggestions on getting yourself out there? What kind of things? And you mentioned like Twitter and doing some of these. I know for some people they're like, oh, I don't want to do all these lives and things like that. But I mean, part of what's going on this year to me is stepping out of that comfort zone and doing something different. Just doing something different.
Well, I do believe that number one, podcasts, which have been around forever,
Yes.
okay? They've been around a long time. Podcasts and Facebook is just a different form of that when you go live. You need to be on as many as possible, right? 2 to 3 a week. That will help increase your visibility right away. And that's why my conference is called Level Up Your Visibility and Profitability. You need to level that up. Excuse me. And those are some of the things you can do right there. Another thing is LinkedIn. And the reason why I mentioned LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is a professional site. It is not Facebook. Okay.
Right.
We don't want to see your dogs and your puppies and all that other stuff. You might do a shout out on your kids, but you're not going to put all the other stuff on there. It's a business page, but
Right.
that's where the speakers are. That's where the corporations are. That's where the CEOs are. If you think in Walmart, I guarantee you their CEO is over there. If you think in Chick-fil-A, I guarantee you their CEO is over there. They're marketing people over there. Coaching, you're a coach, you need to be over there because guess what? You're trying to get in their office. So
That's right.
people are there. Connect where they're there. But for you that are speaking and want to increase your opportunities to speak, y'all, you're going to have to change your mindset. It
Mm.
is not no longer you get paid to speak. It is
Mm.
going to be, you're going to either have a free opportunity, and I suggest you take all of those opportunities, right? Because nothing is too small. As the Bible says, don't be afraid of small beginnings. But in addition to that, you're going to need to pay. Pay to play. It's not a scheme, as some people like to think. Oh, it's too high. Honey, I've had people pay me 10, 15,000 and asked me to do it to get on our stage, right? And I'm like, really? You want to pay that? Really? Okay. But they knew what they were doing. People understand. I know people right now that create events, and they create events and they leave. These people that are speakers who are coaches are leaving with 600,000, 800,000 after the events.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, there is something into this the pay to play. There's something in creating your speaking and coaching where you're bringing people in that are signing up with you as a coach afterwards. Okay, have your act together. Don't pitch something that you can't deliver on.
That's
Okay,
right.
those of you who think you getting over on people and putting all this stuff out there, and then when they get it, it ain't what they're getting. It's that spreads like wildfire. So
Yes,
make
it
sure you
does.
deliver on your goods, right? So make sure, I always say, under promise, over deliver, because then the person can surely appreciate what you're delivering because you're over delivering. But
Absolutely.
said, think about this when you go on a podcast or Facebook Live and things like that. When you saw my first post initially, you saw our graphics go out. That's visibility, y'all.
Right.
That creates a visibility. You're branding with that organization and saying, hey, I got a message. Come on and join me and hear what I have to say. And that lives out there. You know, nothing goes away once it hits the World Wide
That's
Web,
right.
right? So let's
Right.
face it. You can Google me now, and I guarantee you can find a lot of different podcasts, interviews, and all that I've been on because I share my stuff out. The other thing some of y'all can start doing is simply sharing things out, right? Don't
Yes.
just drop it to your page, share it out. And for those of you that think tagging isn't marketing, why don't you visit some of my page sites? Because I can tell you, tagging certainly helps you get seen. There, there are so many people on this web,
That's
and
right.
so you got to reach out and share your stuff out. And when you share other people's stuff out, yes, I'm saying it's okay to let people share stuff on your page, and then you help them by sharing their stuff out because sharing is caring. They will return the favor to you. So,
True collaboration. Absolutely. Absolutely. And
yeah,
it's necessary. I mean, we are stifling ourselves when we don't open it up to others. And people are willing. It's just, I think that what happens is people either don't do it or they don't have, because one thing I do try to tell people is have that conversation. Let people know what you're doing because it can get crazy. Because I do, I'm working on a piece right now about tagamania because some people just, it's like I don't want it to be to a point where you come to my page and you're like, whose page am I on? I don't remember.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Some people may think that with mine, but at the same time, my problem really is I'm doing a lot of stuff, and
Yeah,
I want people to know, and hopefully they'll learn from some of the things they see on my page. But
right.
at the same time, I think it's only fair if I'm tagging them and they have they are willing to share some of my stuff out. I have to return the favor
Absolutely.
sharing their stuff out, right?
Absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
you know,
So, and I love it, especially when it's reciprocated, um,
yeah.
because you're just widening and expanding your
Mhm.
audience,
Mhm.
because they have audiences, and with the teams that I have on the several businesses that I have, I tag all of my team members because I'm like, whoever's following you, they're doing other things, but I want them to know what you're working on too. So it's a good thing when you do it the right way. It's really a good thing.
Yeah.
These are some great tips. So tell us a little bit about your number one bestseller.
Oh, trailblazers who lead.
Yes.
Look, those are my ladies right there. That's my inner tribe, right? They, I'm gonna tell y'all. And I do say this a lot. I am not a natural writer. Okay. I prior to Trailblazers Who Lead, I was in two book projects as contributing authors and stuff. But last year after success, it's like God set me down and said, you need to focus on yourself and do something that's you, right?
Okay.
And he gave me Power Up, which is also where Level Up came from. And then he gave me Trailblazers Who Lead. Now, I'm going to tell you, I did not willingly go into the Trailblazers Who Lead because I was like, yeah, I don't do
Right.
books. I'm struggling now to get a chapter out, right? And so that being said, it was like, no, you need to do a book. And so the young lady that was running my project, she kept saying, Kearn, what are you waiting on? You got enough people following you. I'm like, okay, that's great. But this is not something that I felt like I was called to do. But
Okay.
I can tell you, there are seeds inside of you that you don't know that's there, and and sometimes we resist it. It's like
It's
you're
true.
like, no, I'm not gonna do it. And then God's like, yes, you are. You gonna do it. And then he sends it. And so with Trailblazers, these women that were actually a part of the book have just flown off into this amazing world. We launched it in July, but leading up to July, they were on podcast interviews. Some of these ladies, yes, they might have been speaking in their backyard, so to speak, in the pond, as I like to call it, and sharing there, but many had not done a book. Many of
Okay.
them had amazing things that they were doing. One of my ladies, I use her as an example a lot, Comeback Coolers. She and I knew her, but I didn't know that she had this foundation that she had, where she started a foundation after Katrina hit. She
Okay.
realized that people don't have cold drinks after a hurricane for a while, and so
Okay.
and she said, "Well, I like beer." So when the next hurricane hit another area not too far from us, she took them a cooler of beer, and then it just took off from there.
Wow.
Yes. One cooler led to 1,000 coolers. And then
Wow.
from there, people started saying, I like to pay it forward. How can I get involved? How can I create mine over here and go to other hurricanes? We just got hit by a hurricane recently, and
Hmm.
that was another opportunity for her to share locally and to pour
Right.
into people here as well. But her, and then another good friend of mine I talk about, Sabrina, who has the a lot of the jewelry, like the earrings I'm wearing right now. She got laid off from her job. She worked for a major airline, and she was working. She said, "Kind of had it all. I had the car. I mean, the Mercedes. I had the house. I had the black credit cards, and everything was going. And then just like that, it was gone, right?"
Mm-hmm.
And when something like that happens, you're like, well, what do I do? And
Right.
so her family started trying to help her, pull her out of that. You get into a slight depression when something major like that happened. But she said one day I just started making some art. She started making figurines, and then next thing
Wow.
you know, she was making handmade leather purses. Y'all, I'm saying some serious handmade leather purses, right? I love leather, by the way. Anyway,
I,
that jewelry, yeah, most people have seen me at Success with some of her jewelry on, different types of, she even makes shoes, y'all. She,
wow.
if you got a little baby, you know how they make them little baby shoes, the first baby shoe. She
Yes.
makes those as a keepsake. So
So check out
that
those gifts. Wow.
that gift was inside of her. I
Yes.
asked her, I said, had you ever done that before? She said, no. I
Wow.
said, so you never made any jewelry or anything? She said, no. She just started making it, and it just took off. And so what I'm saying is, she tapped in because she lost that job. And I
Mhm.
always say, sometimes we may not have lost that job. God might have pushed us out of that
That's
job, right?
right.
He
That's
might have
right.
shut that door because you ain't listening to him. So he just say, okay, I'm gonna close that door. And
That's right.
now, if it wasn't for that, she may have never gone into making jewelry and all this type of stuff. So this year, she actually made our awards for the Success Woman Top Influencer Award as well. So amazing stories like that are part of Trailblazers Who Lead. Dr.
Okay.
Gloria Mayfield Banks. Y'all might have seen her on a little program called Miss USA, were the first Black woman from Mississippi.
All
Well,
right.
hello. And so she was one of the judges, and she talks about her story. First off, she is the number one person in the world for Mary Kay products.
Oh, okay.
Number one sales, number one, they're number one person in the world. Okay, so you're talking about somebody who came from a domestic violence situation. She pulled herself out of that situation, and she is truly what we call a trailblazer. This woman is doing it. When you
Right.
read her story, you understand that she did not let a situation or an
Hmm.
environment hold her back. She pulled herself out of it, and she created herself into now the number one person in the world for Mary Kay. So it's stories like that that
Yes.
really lead the book. Dr. Cheryl Wood is also a part of the book. And a lot of us have heard her story on where
Mhm.
she came from as a legal secretary on the desk. Now she is an international speaker and number one best-selling author on many platforms as well. But that being said, it's those kind of people who
Mhm.
share how they pulled themselves forward and that they saw a need and they
Right.
went after it. You know, they
Right.
went after it. They don't wait for something. They make it happen, right? They're
Absolutely.
trailblazers. So anyway, I
I
love it.
love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So I'm going to let everybody know that you need to be getting that book. But you actually are working on another anthology called Make It. Is it Make It Happen?
Yes.
Tell
Yes.
us a little bit about that, or what inspired you to go at it. Because now those stories are already powerful, and I mean, I love anything that kind of pushes people to remind them that I can do this too. If somebody else did it, I can do it too.
Exactly. So Make It Happen was on my first list with Trailblazers as well. And I was thinking, well, maybe this is it. But at the end of the day, Trailblazers was the one I chose. But Make It Happen has been a title of a book that I've been holding for a long time, at least 15 plus years.
Wow.
know, but when I first put it out there, okay, I had an immediate response. Thank you to Jonathan Hayes, who signed up first. And I kind of got nervous, and then I started focusing on success and kind of set on it. I was like, well, you know what, God, I just don't know if this is where I should be, because the goal of Make It Happen is I wanted people to tell their story on how no matter what, they found a way to make something happen, whether
Hmm.
they came out of a domestic violence situation, whether they started their own business, whether they walked in their calling or not. Is I wanted people to be able to share that, right? And
Right.
so I was sitting one day and I said, well, I'm really contemplating it. And so I got up early. Most people know I'm not a morning person, right? And I was sitting on the couch, and as usual, I'm checking Facebook, and there it is. God sends a thing by and says, "And He shall make it happen." I was like, "What?" I said, let me go to this. So I went and typed in my phone and Googled it, and it was Isaiah 60:22. And He shall make it happen. All these graphics popped up everywhere. And I said, okay, Lord, I guess they're
Right.
telling me I need to go on and make this happen, right?
That's right.
Basically, He was confirming my title. And
Hmm.
so from that, it was like the floodgates is open as far as authors coming forward and wanting to be a part of it. I think I'm reaching for 30, so I'm pretty close to that right now.
Okay.
Uh, I've been fortunate. One of the ladies that have joined, and I can't wait to read her story. She shared a little bit the other night when the authors got together. Judy Ambrosia James shares her story about she had a stroke at 50. And so
Mhm.
at 50 years old, she had a massive stroke, not just a stroke. So I don't know.
Wow.
Those of y'all that are in healthcare like me, that's a major recovery effort. But she didn't let that hold her back at all. This woman already has her own digital store, y'all. Her own digital store. And she told us the story that brought her to this is that she said one day they came and got me for rehab and took me they were taking her to the cafeteria. And as they were rolling her down the hallway, they left her in the hallway. And they said, we'll see you in the dining room. And she was like, what? I got to get there to eat. I know these kind of stories because my background's in rehab. So I'm listening to her. And she finally made her way in there. And 3 days later, she had, from that day, she was able to wheel herself from her room to the dining room
Wow.
on a regular massive stroke. And so, that being said, she told us her first shirt, thus her t shirt, once she got out. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Her T-shirt. She started her T-shirt saying, uh, "If you don't have a smile, you can borrow mine." And
I
I was
love it.
like, "Oh my goodness, borrow my smile." And I was like, "Oh my God, that is so powerful."
Yes, it is.
This
Yes,
woman
it is.
has a digital platform, y'all, and she had a massive stroke. 13 years later, I told her, I said, we're gonna have to bring you out of the darkness and into the light, ma'am. Because
Yes.
you had she had her light turned down, so we couldn't see her. I said, I need to see that beautiful smile because it is a blessing
Yes.
that you are here today. And you, unlike a lot of people, have a digital footprint already. She
Hmm.
already has a digital store. You know how many people don't have shrunk back because of COVID because
That's
they have
right.
a way to make money off of the internet. Y'all, if she can do it, you can do it too. And so she is making it happen. And you
Love
can too.
it. These
Yeah.
stories are going to be powerful. So is the book, so you said you almost have the 30. So when are you envisioning to possibly release this book? So we can make it happen too.
So though my book projects are all about visibility. So I like to take my time and go through with my
That's
authors
right.
and share them on everybody's stages. And then we release that book. So we will release the book is projected for March of 2021. So
Okay.
I'm telling you now, yeah, I got a few spots left. You need to sign up. And yes, if you're asking, Trailblazers 2 will be coming early 2021. We will be
Okay,
taking authors
okay,
next
that's what
week.
I'm talking. Look,
Yeah.
and you think just like I do. I absolutely agree that you start talking about it long before it gets here, because people should know what's going on. I do. I understand sometimes the concept of being quiet to a certain point, but if you stay quiet too long, somebody else is already out there doing whatever it is. So you gotta, throw teasers out there. Just let people know they need to see that you're doing something. They may not need to know every single thing, but to know that somebody is still working, there's still something. And I tell you, one of the things that I do with my books is once I get the cover done, because I can sit on a title for years and then all of a sudden, I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And then all of a sudden, I'll be like, okay, I'm ready for this cover because I know when that cover is done, that's
Mhm.
gonna be my motivator. So once the cover is done, it's like they're gonna be sick of me because I'm gonna. And then you have to be creative. These digital platforms have allowed you to just tap into. And I've always been a creative, but yeah, this was always even with the magazine I have, it was digital all the time. And it's funny because I thought that I'm kind of behind because I can't afford to do the print right now. That's a whole nother beast. But
Mhm.
then when COVID happened, it was kind of like, yeah, I've been here. So how do
Yes,
I
ma'am.
step up my game with Dove Style Magazine, which brings the DSM exclusives like what we're doing right now was like, okay, I can do this.
Yes.
Um, and we already been here since 2012. It's been digital. So let's just enhance what we were already doing and let them catch up with us. So
Ma'am.
this is wonderful.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
So
ma'am.
so tell me a little bit because you actually have, is it some conferences that are coming up or
Mhm.
that you're involved in? Tell us a little bit about what's coming up. I think I've heard a few things that are going that are straight fire, but you tell me about it.
Well, first off, Success Women's Conference, as I said earlier, it's in the sixth year this year. We had over 17,000 y'all at
Wow.
our conference in October. So I am super thrilled that we have gone global. And I'm going to
Yes.
say this because of the worldwide internet is the
Mhm.
reason why we were able to do that. In person, we were at between 1,100 and 1,500 last year. Now we're 17,000. So do y'all really think virtual's going anywhere? No.
Nope.
But one thing's for sure, starting January the 1st through the 3rd, we are going to launch Woman on Fire because
Yes.
we believe that you should start 2021 strong. You need to have a plan. You need to set goals, and you need to be taking action. And that's what we're going to be pushing that you do, that we encourage when you attend one of the workshops or tune in to the speakers. We encourage you to have your notepad, take some notes. You know, when you hear about, when you're in the what do you call those, the groups where we have the panel discussion, have some notes, take some things down, and actually take some action. Don't let 2021 be another year. I'm gonna wait until the things
That's
go back
right.
to normal. This is normal. Look, you don't go through a whole year or something and say, well, when it
Right.
goes
We're
back to
here.
normal,
We are
we're
here.
here.
Right.
This is where we're at, y'all. And trust me, when you hear billionaires saying they have made the adjustment, and guess what? They're doing more than ever. Guess what's going to happen? They ain't
Hmm.
never going back.
That's
They're
right.
not
That's
going back.
right.
So it's time. We were forced into the digital mindset, but we got to do what we got to do, and we need to be ready. Don't leave money on the table.
That's right.
Don't wait to do something. I'm telling y'all, just like Nike said, just do it. You got
I
an
love that.
outfit, just do it. Look, you need to be in a book. You need to either create your own book. I always say book anthology, by the way, because I believe you should be making money from. You need to do a book. You need to be so you need to be sharing your story that way. You need to be on the stage. You need to be coaching. You need to be visible in magazines, on podcasts. You need to be seen. This is your time. Do not let it pass you by. I don't care what you're going through. I was just telling one of my people earlier, I said, I encourage you, even if you're working your full-time job,
Hmm.
take some time. You can be speaking and be at work, right? Ain't that the amazing thing about the
Yes.
virtual platform? I was telling somebody, you can be on 3 stages in the same day.
How about
You can't
that?
do that live. So
That's true.
it's
That's
your
true.
time. It is your time. Y'all, this is, I mean, I'm like, wow. It doesn't people say, well, you can't get all the charisma and all that stuff. I agree with that because it's hard talking to a screen. But guess what? Your message is being heard. You need to work on your crafts. So no matter what platform you on, I still want to buy your service. When I
Right.
hear Lisa Nichols talk, who was at our conference in 2018, I have to remember I already met this woman. I'll be like, how can I gotta hear what she gotta say. I gotta hear her.
That's
I'm like,
right.
it's the same feeling every time. And so, and then she makes you want to take action. Let me
Yeah.
see. I don't have $15,000, but maybe I need to find it, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
That's the mindset she gets you thinking it. So look, y'all, it's time. Stop waiting. The opportunity is now. You will never, I'm telling y'all, in our lifetime, we will probably never get this kind of extra time again.
That's true. That's
So
true.
take advantage of it. Yes, see your family, enjoy your family, all that type of stuff. Get you some rest, but at the same time, you need to be making money. You need to have multiple streams of revenue. If you don't have 7 streams of revenue, then you need to be working hard to get you 7 streams of revenue.
That is so true. So true. And I think people forget about that. But if this has provided us that opportunity to think, be still, think, there's opportunities there. I think the reason people aren't, jumping on this because they're not sitting still long enough to think about it. Because I mean, you've just with digital and being on these platforms, okay, yeah, we did live and there were lots of people in the room. But think about how you've multiplied that number by being on the screen. So yes, you can't be hands-on, you can't touch and feel and that kind of stuff, but you're actually touching 3, 4 times that amount of people.
Mhm.
And if it's all about the message, then the message is still getting out there. Why stop the message just because you can't be in the room? I mean, it just doesn't make sense. But people get intimidated with change. And I think that's another thing, that when you start switching stuff up, sometimes when we old school, we like, oh, wait a minute. But I'm thinking, okay, when we use the typewriter, that was nobody's using typewriters now. And
Right.
eventually it had to shift. I used to laugh about when I first started working in the government, and I pushed what, F5, and you got the kaleidoscope on the screen.
Yeah.
And that
Right.
was something big time, right? It was like, ooh, look at all the pretty. And now, if I said that to somebody or said DOS or something like that, they'd be like, what?
What? Yes.
Because we got to change. You got to shift with the times and keep it going. And yeah, it can be scary, but once you try it once, then you try it again, then it's like, oh, this is nothing. So, I
Mhm.
mean, like she said, just do it. So
Yeah.
where do they find information about this conference coming up January 1? Perfect timing.
Yes, exactly. Because guess what, everybody? Everybody's going to be home because guess what's out
That's
there? We
right.
already know most
Right.
of us are not venturing out. Uh,
That's right.
you might as well be viewing, tuning in and learning and gaining at the same time. And if you're really smart and you're one of those speakers looking for a stage, you'll be reaching out. Successconference.info. You can go to successconference.info for our website and stuff. And then there's I think it's Success Women's Conference online, where
Okay.
you can go to register as well. So we definitely have, and the beauty, if you hadn't seen the Woman on Fire graphic, y'all, look.
I have, and it is,
Oh,
oh my God, it's hot. I look,
oh,
that's why I said I'm gonna let you talk about it, but I
oh,
see fire. Fire with
look, oh,
FIYA fire. Yes, it is
yes.
beautiful.
The
Beautiful.
the team rolled that out. Shout out to Black CEO. They are amazing. I love when they put out the work. Trevor Otts is as a brainiac when it comes to that type of stuff. So we love teaming up and forming partnerships and collaboration. Him and ER Spalding are an amazing team, and Shay Brown. They're always a part of Success Women's Conference as well. So y'all, if you haven't seen it, if you hadn't been to Success Women's Conference Facebook page, go there. We also have a membership, Success Mentors Network,
Okay.
$15 a month, y'all. 15
Okay.
a month. You get the vault from the conference if you pay the whole year, or if you pay a smaller fee, you can get that and the membership as well. But y'all, we're going to be doing some stuff. We're starting to rock. We got our chief information officer just recently joined the team, Dr. Yolanda Jerry, who's keeping us on point. Dorothy Wilson and Tiffany D. Bell are my partners. So y'all go to successconference.info and check out the Woman on Fire. We'll be loading up our speakers. There are many coming. This conference is more focused on speakers that just focusing on delivering and pouring into you. Yes,
Okay.
last month we had Les Brown, Sharon Lecter, Forbes Riley, Dr. George C. Frazier, all those names. Yes, we have seen all those people come through our conference over and over, but this time we're focusing on our featured speakers that come in, like Trevor Oxnam, the big brain people that come in and deliver all the time. Nikki Woods, Dr. Cheryl Wood is
Wow.
always a part of us because she's like family, right? So we love her because she brings herself and the EE squad. And
That's
so
right.
we love her being a part of us as well. But come in because a lot of y'all need the information they're sharing. Dr. Cheryl Wood and Andy Menendez, they talk about speaking and getting on the stage, and they are speaker trainers. And most
Mm-hmm.
of us are going to have to hire a teacher, a coach to level up our game in the field. And these are some of the best in the world that teach on.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
you need people. If you're looking for PR, up in your game in PR, hey, Pam Perry, my stylist, Lauren Nicole Sinclair, those people are specialists at that.
Right.
Branding, Ty Miles, our Success Women's coach, Success Women's Conference coach, Ty Miles is a branding expert. You know, these people are there to pour in to you. And at the same time, we're bringing in people that aren't so well known, but they have a message that you need to hear. Remember, you need to share your story. Your story is not your story. Your story
That's
and your message is for somebody who's waiting to hear it. But you have to be on the stages that allow you that opportunity. And so, Woman on Fire is that stage that you want to be on, because as you already heard, 17,000. Do I need to say more?
yes. Oh
Hello,
my goodness. Yes. And
hello.
I know quite a few people I've been seeing. Look, and this speaks to what you said about being visible, because I've seen, some of the posts I've seen, and actually some people that I know that are involved. And I will tell you, the graphic drew me in.
Mm-hmm.
It was fabulous. So I was like, let me check this out. I think, and who was I watching? Sylvia is an ambassador, and I saw her because I've worked with her on some other things, and I looked and saw and said, "Oh wow, I need to check this out." I'm telling you, the graphic is absolute fire.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah.
a whole nother level. It
Yeah,
really is.
it really is. So you can't help but to at least see what we're doing, right?
I did. It intrigued me. I was like, let me check out what's going on over here. But then I went and looked, took a look, and it's a power. It just sounds like a powerful conference. Actually, everything you're doing is uplifting, and supporting, and I like the idea of pouring into people. And I think that people need to get used to investing in things like this, to take you to the next level and get out of their own way with, oh, I already know, I'm already doing this. There's always someplace else you can move to, adjust, move to the side. It's not, people just need to get out of their own way with a lot of this stuff. But you are doing some wonderful things. So let everybody know how they get in touch with you.
Okay. Well, first of all, you can go to coachkern.com, coachkern.com. If you want to talk to me about creating your own profitable event, y'all. Notice I said profitable.
Profitable.
No, no big parties. We don't do big parties. I'm all about helping you make sure that you make money. And yeah,
Okay.
maybe you didn't. Maybe you didn't have the attendance. They called me the bus in the seat queen, because I help you get more attendance. We make some adjustments right off the bat to change that, because hello, 17,000 is all I'm going
Yes,
to say. There's a
that's
way
right.
to get there, and you need to get there, right? So, coachkern.com. Go there. You can find my discovery sessions where I'll talk to you there. And if you want to join the book project, coachkern.com/make it happen. You can sign up there as well. In addition to that, I'm on LinkedIn. I say LinkedIn because it is one of my favorite social media sites. But I'm also, of course, on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, those other places, and of course, Facebook. Not Coach, but Kearn Crockett Cherry is my main page, which of course I'm pretty much full there. But I also have Kearn Cherry, my business page. And of
Hmm.
course, we have Success Women's Conference, Success Nation, Women's Nation, our Mentors Network, Success Mentors Network. I also have Power Up Summit, which is also doing a call for speakers. And look, y'all, I have 4 other clients that I am helping them push their conference out this year, at least 4.
Wow.
So
Wow.
that being said, if you are a speaker and you want to be on the stage this year, and I suggest that you be on at least 2 a month, then you need to go to Coach Kearn, coachkern.com, and fill out my speaker inquiry. And yes, let me tell y'all, I am a speaker as well, coach,
Hmm.
entrepreneur, all that. And as a speaker, I do pay to be on people's stage because I want to get my visibility up even higher. So that being said, if I'm doing it, hey, it's up to you, but I suggest that you join me on the journey because I'm really good at getting visibility and making sure that others get it as well. So
I
join
love
me
it.
there. I'm always available. Of course, my PR and home care site is out there as well.
Yes, I think this is wonderful. I'm hoping everybody, thanks to everybody for tuning in. And I'm sure some of them will catch us on the replay. But this has been wonderful information. And you've just provided people with opportunities that they probably didn't even know until they tuned in that would be out there. And and what she's really saying is there's a lot of opportunities. It's not like one or two. It's a lot of opportunities, but people got to get out of like I said, out of your own way and just, hit the button, ask the question, whatever it takes to just, I mean, once you do it, it's all behind you, right?
Just do it. That
Just,
like Nike said, just do it. It's time, y'all. And
I
again,
love it.
and
I love it.
come share your talents at Woman on Fire.
And somebody needs to, like you said, the gifts are not for us to keep and to hold on to. Somebody's waiting for us to share these gifts that we have. And one of those things is to sit still and figure out what they are because somebody's waiting on you. So, I mean, and she's providing an outlet for you to get it out. So it's just all on you. So you can't blame somebody or say, oh, nobody was looking for people. Oh, I don't know where to go. Because right here today in this 1 hour, you've been told, okay, there's opportunities. Here's your chance.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's just like step up to the plate and swing. She said, just do it. So
Yeah.
I am so appreciative of you coming on here for Dove Style Magazine's exclusive interview. This has been wonderful. And I'm hoping to connect with you because you have these book projects and things coming out where we can still continue to shine the light on some of your authors and things. So my platform is always available to you. And it's been a pleasure. I thank you so much. This
Yeah.
has been wonderful.
Thank you for having me, Lisa. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And you all better get in touch with her, find her. We put her, the website. Let me see if I can put it up there one more time. But we put the information up there so you can contact her. But she's also, let you know that she's on Facebook, Twitter. There's no platform that she's not there. I'm still working on TikTok. My children did not want me to learn TikTok, I guess, because that's where they're hanging. But
Yeah.
my assistant is helping me out with that. And I'm starting to get in the hang. I was a little intimidated by it at first, but I like to be silly and have a little fun too. So you mix that with some work, and people actually started to say, okay, they want to know that you can have fun
Yeah.
and yeah. So I am loving it. So please connect with her. Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. Twitter is a wonderful place to be. It's fast, it's moving, but I will say this with my interviews and things like that. Um, People are out there on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a robot speaking for them. A lot of times on Twitter, they are actually out there talking
Yeah.
and interacting. I have landed more interviews with people on Twitter from just asking questions and talking. You just can't be scared. You gotta step out on faith and just do it.
Hey,
So she not
do
lying. Just do it. Just
just
do it.
do it. Exactly.
So
All
thank you. I hope you have a wonderful Friday evening. Again, I appreciate you coming on and I look forward to having you back. So we will see you next time. Thanks so much.
Yay.